In the beginning, there was nothing. No land, no sea, no stars, no wind, no sound. Just a great endless emptiness, formless, still, and dark. The universe was void, but in that vast silence there was one. God was there, and then God spoke.
"Let there be light."
A voice echoed through the darkness, and instantly light broke forth. It rushed in like a river, flooding the void, pushing back the shadows. Light and darkness danced apart, each finding its place. God saw that the light was good. He separated it from the darkness. The light he called day, and the darkness he called night. That was the first day. God continued his work. On the second day, he shaped the heavens. He spoke again, and a great expanse stretched out above the earth. He separated the waters, some above the sky, some below. The sky, wide and blue, appeared like a canopy over the young earth. It had no storms, no clouds, only stillness and the promise of more to come. That was the second day. On the third day, God gathered the waters under the sky into one place. As the waters moved, dry land began to rise. God called the dry land earth, and the gathered waters he called seas. The land was bare at first, no trees, no grass, but God was not finished. With a word, he commanded the earth to bring forth vegetation. Suddenly, green shot up from the soil. Fields of wildflowers spread across the hills. Trees towered and stretched their arms toward the sky. Vines crawled. Wheat swayed in the breeze that God had made. Fruit trees of every kind blossomed. Apples, figs, dates, grapes, and oranges. Each plant bore seeds, ready to continue the cycle of life. It was a land filled with color, movement, and sweetness. Earth was no longer silent. It rustled, it breathed, it bloomed. That was the third day. Then came the fourth day. God looked at the sky and said,
"Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate day from night."
And so the sun came to shine brightly over the earth, warming it and giving light to the day. The moon was placed in the night sky, glowing softly and casting silver shadows across the earth. And around them, scattered like diamonds across a velvet cloth, were the stars, uncountable, glorious, each one lit by the hand of God. These lights were more than beauty. They marked time and seasons, guiding future generations in their rhythms of planting, harvesting, resting, and worship. That was the fourth day. On the fifth day, God turned to the sea and sky. The waters began to bubble, to stir. Life sprang forth beneath the waves. Great whales glided through the deep. Schools of fish shimmered in colorful harmony. Jellyfish floated like drifting lanterns. Sea turtles paddled along coral reefs. The oceans were alive. Above the earth, the sky filled with wings. Birds of every shape and size took flight. Hawks soared on the wind. Parrots sang in the trees. Swans glided across rivers. Hummingbirds darted from flower to flower. The air was filled with sound, chirps, calls, flutters, songs. God blessed them and said,
"Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the seas and the skies."
That was the fifth day. Now came the sixth day. God looked at the land and spoke again.
"Let the earth bring forth living creatures."
And it did. The ground trembled as herds of animals appeared. Elephants marched across the plains. Lions roared in the tall grass. Bears wandered through the forests. Wolves howled in the mountains. Kangaroos leapt. Antelope sprinted. Horses galloped in herds. Tiny ants built homes in the soil. Bees danced among the flowers. The earth was now filled with motion. The land echoed with life. Creatures wild and tame, each one designed with purpose and beauty. But even after all of this, God had one final creation in mind, his most treasured work. He said,
"Let us make man in our image, after our likeness."
So, from the dust of the earth, God formed a human being. With his own breath, he gave life to mankind. This creation was different. Man could speak, reason, imagine, and love. God placed within humans something no other creature had: His image, His reflection, a spark of His own nature. He blessed them and gave them dominion over the birds of the air, the fish of the sea, and every animal that moved upon the earth. He gave them fruit from the trees and grains from the field as food, and He looked at them with deep joy. And God saw all that He had made, and behold, it was very good. That was the 6th day. On the 7th day God did something sacred. He rested, not because He was tired, but because His work was complete. He had created time, space, energy, and matter. He had designed beauty and balance. He had formed a world of order and wonder. And now He paused. God blessed the 7th day and made it holy. It was a day set apart, a day of reflection, a day of peace. In 7 days, the world had been born. From nothing came light and land, sea and sky, animals, stars, plants, and mankind. The Creator had spoken, and by His word, everything came into being. This is the beginning of everything. But this story is not yet finished. For in the next part, God will place His human creation in a garden, a place called Eden, full of beauty, choice, and mystery.